What a wonderful Wednesday it is. Welcome in to DRF Sportsbook Daily, our betting live stream coming at you every single day. We're a little later than usual. Apologies for that, about 2 hours later than what we normally come on with, but hopefully that means I had more time to research, maybe more time to make some 4-0 picks. We'll see how that pans out, but we're coming off of a fantastic 3-1 day yesterday. One bad loss, but other than that, some fantastic wins, if I do say so myself. Really pumped about the momentum we're going to carry into today because we all know betting's all about momentum. Except it's not really. Welcome in again. If you're not already, follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Type in at DRF Sportsbook and we'll pop up. The 4 games we have on the docket for today are some 4 good ones, 4 really solid ones. And then the featured free game of the day, I don't know how I feel about my pick. I'm confident in it, but at the same time, it's a little bit of a bold strategy. St. Louis against the Cubs. That's game 1. Dodgers against Giants. That's game 2 we're going to be breaking down. Brewers Pirates is game 3 in our featured free game today. Rockies Padres. This was a last-minute change. We were originally going to do, I believe, we were going to do the Dodgers Giants as our featured free game of the day, or the Cardinals Cubs. But after that Juan Soto news yesterday, the movement on the Padres to win the World Series going from plus 1,300 to plus 1,200, I haven't checked if it has moved at all today. Juan Soto and Josh Bell are probable and expected to play after being traded from the Nationals last night. It's not a nationally televised game. It's on MLB Extra Innings, MLB.tv, if you're a subscriber to things like that. So it's not necessarily the biggest game in terms of national relevance, but I just want to break that game down because the interest I have in watching Juan Soto move across the nation, go to San Diego, and see what he can do when he's paired up with Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis whenever he comes back as well. So we're going to be breaking down that game for our featured free game of the day a little bit, but we have these first 3 games coming up first. Cubs, Cardinals. Cardinals minus 170 tonight against the Cubs. They won game 1 6-0. The Cardinals have now won 4 of their last 5. On the other side, the Cubs have now lost their last 3. And in that 3-game losing streak, they've been shut out twice. They scored 4 runs in the first loss they had. So they're averaging about 1.3 runs per game. Their offense has been anemic. They came out of the All-Star break looking pretty solid. But since then, especially as of late, they just have not been able to put it all together. On the season, though, they do average 4.2 runs per game. A little bit of a pop in that lineup, the .392 slugging percentage, and have hit triple digits in home runs. But these Cardinals, they're a lot better of a team. 4.6 runs a game. They only allow 3.9. And if I can get the Cardinals at minus 170, I'm doing that all day, every day. Miles Mikolas, best mustache in the major leagues, is taking on Justin Steele. Mikolas is 8-8 this season with a 2.86 ERA. With an ERA that solid, you'd think his win-loss would be better than 8-8. He's going up against Justin Steele, who is 4-8 with a 3.86 ERA. Over his last 3, he has brought that down to about a 2.45 ERA. So solid stuff from Justin Steele as of late. But the Cubs 0-6 this season when they're coming off of getting shut out. Not very good. St. Louis on the other side, 6-3 when they're coming off of a shutout. Those 2 things factor in just a little bit to why I'm going Cubs to lose, Cardinals to win at minus 170. I'd also lean the under. I just don't have any faith in the Cubs offense to get anything going and help get to that magic 8 number. Cardinals pushed across 6 runs last night, but the Cubs pushed across none. So I'm leaning the under, and I'm going for sure the pick Cardinals minus 170. Moving on from that game, Dodgers-Giants, a nice little nightcap. I believe first pitch for this one is 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Julio Urias is getting the start. He's going up against Alex Cobb of the Giants. Giants are plus 150. Total is set at 7.5 runs. Dodgers have won the last 2 games, the first 2 games, I should say, of this series, of this 4-game set. San Francisco has not had a lot of dominance at home. They're just 29-25 at San Francisco so far this season. They came into this series 3-0 against the Dodgers at home. That's quickly changed after losing the first two games of this series. They're now just 3-2 against the Dodgers at home, and they have a losing record against LA so far on the season. Urias is 10-6, 2.71 ERA, solid stuff. And as of his last three starts, I believe he's 3-0 with a 1.35 ERA. So Julio Urias has been really solid as of late. Alex Cobb on the other side, a 4.39 ERA, losing record. Aren't looking too great. I'm going Dodgers in this one, minus 160. I think they win tonight's game. They win 3 of the 4. I'm not sure how the fourth game will go, but I think the Dodgers win tonight, secure the series win, and they'll be playing in the fourth game. But Dodgers, the bats have just been wildly alive as of late. They've been winning their last 3 games by 4+ runs or more, a really solid mark. And in the fourth game of when that happens, I know it's a little convoluted. Let me repeat that. They've won their last 3 games by 4 or more runs. In the fourth game of that so far this season, they're 4-1. A little bit weird, a little bit wonky, but it has a good rating on drf.com/sports, a good breakdown there of a really good, insightful trend of how the Dodgers have been performing this season. Dodgers have also done really well this season against pitchers who strike out a lot of batters. They are 20-7 this season against pitchers who strike out 5 or more batters. I'm interpreting that as the Dodgers like to swing, and if they're going up against a pitcher who's going to pound the strike zone over and over again, they're going to make that pitcher pay, and we've seen it. The bats have come alive. They average 5.3 runs per game. They allow just 3.3 runs per game, so they're outscoring opponents by an average of 2 full runs this season, one of the highest marks across all the majors, right up there with the Yankees. They may have actually surpassed the Yankees after these last couple of games. And then on the flip side, the Dodgers, after All-Star break, seem to be firing on all cylinders. They've hit the 70-win mark. They look like they're powering towards October. San Francisco, the wheels have fallen off completely post-All-Star break, and it's kind of sad to see. They were looking pretty solid. They were in the race over there on the West Coast, but now they're 2 games under 500, and I think they only have like 2 or 3 wins since the All-Star break. They're really sputtering. Wheels have fallen off, and they're trying any type of way to get back into the win column. That's not going to happen tonight with Alex Cobb getting the start on the bump. I think Julio Urias, I think the Dodgers, I think the bats continue to stay alive. If you want to get a little bit greedy, maybe go Dodgers minus 1.5 in this spot. You'll get it at plus money. You can really juice up your line. If you're putting down a parlay, that could really boost up your odds on that. I'm going to stay safe. I'm going to go Dodgers minus 160. And I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna be happy with that. Dodgers minus 160 is the play for sure. If you want to juice it, minus 1.5, I can't blame you because I think they'll win this game by a wide margin. But I'm just not chancing it. And our third and final game tonight, Brewers Pirates. Pirates are plus 190. The total is set at 8.5. Pittsburgh did win game 1 of this series last night, 5-3. It snapped a 7-game losing streak for Pittsburgh. But the key of the game was Milwaukee had 5 more hits than the Pirates, but they stranded 9 runners. You're not winning a lot of MLB games when you strand 9. You win a lot of MLB games when you out-hit your opponent, but when you can't bring them around to score, that is absolutely killer. After a 4-game win streak, the Brewers have now lost their last 2, including the first game against the Pirates. So not great as of late for Milwaukee, but post All-Star break, they are sitting at 7-3. So solid stuff. Before this little 2-game streak, they were 7-1. Brewers have been playing pretty well post All-Star break. They're starting Freddie Peralta tonight, and then the Pittsburgh Pirates are starting Tyler Beede. Tyler Beaty's getting his first start of the year. He's pitched over 40 innings so far this season, I believe 23 appearances. So it's by no means an unexperienced arm that hasn't seen any action. I believe it's just a bullpen day for the Pirates, trying to give their rotation a little bit of a rest, put some bullpen guys in. And I think for a Milwaukee offense that's been kind of lackluster all season, they average 4.6 runs, a good 4.18 slugging percentage, but you kind of expect a little bit more out of them with the names they have in this lineup. I think they'll be able to get to this Pittsburgh pitching staff pretty early on, put up a couple runs. And that's why I'm leaning Milwaukee, not just Milwaukee minus 210. Not enough juice there for me to really bet that. That's why I'm going Milwaukee minus 1.5 at minus 132. I think they're going to severely outscore the Pirates tonight in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's just 22-29 this season at home. Milwaukee is 31-36 on the road this season. Not a great mark, but they're 12-6 when they're minus 200 or better. So give me Milwaukee not only to win by 2 or more runs. You can get that at minus 132 over at DRF Sportsbook. Just type in ia.drf.com to check it out, or you can download the DRF Sportsbook app on the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. So, quick recap of our MLB best bets. We're going Cardinals to beat the Cubs minus 170. We're going Dodgers to beat the Giants minus 160. A lot of value there, in my opinion, for the Dodgers at minus 160. I'd go all the way up to minus 200, minus 210. I think that's almost the lock of the day. And then Brewers, Pirates. I think Brewers are going to win. Again, maybe it's the lock of the day for them to win. They are minus 210. Lots and lots of faith in Milwaukee, in the Brew Crew. I'm going to go all the way to minus 1.5 at minus 132. Give myself a little bit of juice, give myself a little bit more value, because when they win, I believe it'll be by 2, 3, 4, 5 runs. Really beat up on this Pittsburgh team that is throwing out some bullpen arms to start the day, and against kind of a respectable offense with the names of Christian Yelich, Willy Adames, things like that. I think they can get to Pittsburgh and they'll be able to push up a couple runs and really bolster the scoreboard early on in it. So if you're not already, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, anywhere that you find social media content. Go ahead and give us a follow at DRF Sportsbook. We'd be greatly appreciative of that. You can find all these lines, everything like that, if you're in Iowa, at DRF Sportsbook. Type in ia.drf.com in your search bar, or you can download the DRF Sportsbook app on the Google Play Store, Apple App Store. Plenty of awesome daily boosts, specials, everything like that coming at you each and every day. So, with all that out of the way, boom, Rockies Padres, our free game of the day, folks. Chad Kuhl gets the start for Colorado. Blake Snell gets the start for the Padres. Chad Kuhl 6-6 this season with a 4.78 ERA. Blake Snell not much better, 3-5 this season with a 4.43 ERA. So let's throw out the pitchers. To me, that's a wash. Blake Snell's been lackluster since coming to San Diego. What I want to talk about is Juan Soto and Josh Bell going to the Padres. What an enormous get for the Padres. They had to give up a lot. They didn't have to give up Eric Hosmer, apparently, because he denied it. And so I believe instead of Eric Hosmer, they sent Luke Voit, who was on the Yankees last season, traded or something with the Padres, ended up over there in San Diego. He's now over here in Washington. Luke Voit, part of that deal. Eric Hosmer, I believe, ended up on the Red Sox, something like that. But in return, the Padres got Juan Soto and Josh Bell. They opened yesterday at plus 1,300 to win the World Series. It moved to plus 1,200. I wouldn't be surprised to see that movement happen some more. Everyone in San Diego's pumped. Everyone around the league is pumped to see what these Padres do now. Manny Machado, Juan Soto, and Fernando Tatis whenever he comes back from his wrist injury. I'm not sure when he's scheduled to get back. As we quickly look at it, he's faced live pitching, so he's on track to start his rehab assignment. That was a quick side note. So once they get those guys together, be amazing to see this game. And that's why I'm going Colorado plus 250 tonight. I think there's so much hype surrounding San Diego. San Diego's going to be probably inserting 2 brand new players into their lineup in Juan Soto and Josh Bell, who just flew across the country, who just had their lives upended. And everyone has these extremely high hopes for them. I wouldn't be surprised if they go combined 0 for 8 tonight and look not great. That's nothing against Soto and Bell. They're 2 really solid players. Well, one's a generational talent. The other one's a really solid player, a really good player. But after everything that's happened in the last 24 hours, I don't see them coming into San Diego and making an immediate impact. And I think people are overvaluing the Padres right now. And because of that, the Padres are sitting at minus 295, nearly minus 300 here against the Rockies. The Rockies do struggle away from home. That's no secret. They're 16-33 this season away from Coors Field. But at minus 295, that just tells me there's way too much faith in the Padres. Our power line makes Padres more like minus 162. So there's a ton of value on the Rockies here tonight. If you look at the results, San Diego did take down Colorado 13-5. They did take down Colorado 3-2, and they did take down Colorado 4-1 in this 1-2-3-4 in this 5-game set. So they've won this series. Things have changed, but I think Chad Kuhl and the Rockies can pull out the win tonight. Mainly because I think the Padres, there's so much hype, there's so much excitement surrounding them. They're overvalued. So if you're not betting the Rockies, you probably are even getting an overvalued minus 1.5 line on the Padres, although they have won each game of this series, except for one, as I'm reading it, by 2 or more runs. But I think the Rockies can win this game. Call me crazy, and you can call me crazy all you want. All the little betting trends and angles are favoring Colorado to win this. They're 13-3 straight up this season after having lost 6 or 7 of their last 8. San Diego's 10-23 straight up this season against teams who average 0.35 or less stolen bases a game. So San Diego doesn't do well against teams that don't steal. And Colorado's 36-26 so far this season against an NL team with a team batting average of 0.25 or worse. I realize I should probably be pulling these up so you guys can see all of the exclusive betting angles that we have over there at drf.com/sports. So with all that, I'm going Rockies plus 250. This might bite me in the butt. I'm fine with that. I'll take that risk. And I'm feeling good about it. I think they can do it. I feel like there's just way too much hype. There's way too much excitement surrounding the Padres to justify a minus 295 line. That's just way too high. So those are our best bets for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to DRF Sportsbook Live. We hope to see you back tomorrow. But before we get up on out of here, best bets recap. As always, Cardinals minus 170 against the Cubs. Love it. Dodgers minus 160 at the Giants. Lock of the day. Love it. I take Dodgers all the way up to minus 210. Brewers are heavy favorites tonight in Pittsburgh. That's why I'm going Brewers minus 1.5. If they win this game, it's going to be by multiple runs. So I'm comfortable taking Brewers minus 1.5 at minus 132. And Rockies against the Padres, I just broke it down. I think there's way too much excitement, way too much money. I think the Padres are overvalued tonight. So give me the opposite side. Give me the side where all the value is lying. The Rockies have lost their last 3 against the Padres. I think this is the time for them to bounce back after getting embarrassed last night. Give me Rockies plus 250 to take down the Juan Soto and Josh Bell led Padres that they just got into town. So thank you so much for tuning in to DRF Sportsbook Daily, DRF Sportsbook's live stream of all betting content coming at you every single weekday at around 11 a.m., apparently more like 1:20, 1:30 p.m. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow after we have 4 winners today. See ya.